Ah, the river. Peaceful, serene, and just around that bend, absolute chaos. Yep, welcome to the town at the bend in the river where nothing makes sense and everything is falling apart. Kind of like my mornings before coffee. Let me tell you about Salim, the protagonist of A Bend in the River. Now, Salim is just your regular easygoing guy, you know. If your definition of easygoing includes running from your old life, starting a business in the middle of nowhere, and watching everything slowly descend into madness. Fun, right? He's from the coast. Not a real place, just a vague somewhere on the Indian Ocean because specifics? Who needs them?
The details do
He
matter.
arrives in this unnamed town at the bend in the river, which we'll later figure out is probably Kisangani in the Congo, just as the country is enjoying its post-independence glow. Spoiler alert. The glow doesn't last long. Salim's goal? Set up a business and make some cash. Sounds simple. But in a town where the big man in charge, let's call him Mobutu Sese Seko. Oh wait, that's totally who it is. Where the big man is sporting leopard print caps and waving a staff like he's some kind of fashion-forward wizard, nothing is ever that simple. Salim quickly realizes the town has two modes: chaos and more chaos. One moment, things are booming, and the next? It's a ghost town with people either fleeing or losing their minds. Not to mention, there's a certain looseness to how people interact, especially when it comes to, relationships. According to Salim, knocking on a random door might get you more than you bargained for, if you catch my drift. Now, our boy Salim isn't exactly a saint. His love life is a mess. First, he's visiting brothels, then he's secretly hooking up with local women because, obviously, discretion is key. But when he starts an awkward and brutal affair with Yvette, the wife of a history professor named Raymond, things get messy. Let's just say Salim's idea of ending a relationship involves a lot more physical force than necessary. Not cool, Salim. Not cool. While he's struggling with his personal relationships, his business, yeah, remember that, is also going south. Thanks to the big man's decree, foreigners like Salim are getting pushed out, and his shop? Taken over by the locals. To make matters worse, he turns to shady dealings, smuggling ivory and gold to make ends meet. Leans in. Don't try this at home, folks. Smuggling is not a sound financial strategy. As the town sinks deeper into ruin, Salim gets arrested for his illicit dealings, but plot twist. He's saved by none other than Ferdinand, a local he's supposed to be mentoring. Talk about awkward gratitude, right? At this point, everyone in town seems to know the same secret. They're all doomed. According to Ferdinand, we're all going to hell, and every man knows this in his bones. We're being killed. Nothing has any meaning. Sounds like the kind of motivational poster you definitely want on your wall. And there you have it, folks. A Bend in the River by V.S. Naipaul. If you're looking for a book with fun characters, light romance, and happy endings, this is not the one. But seriously, Naipaul gives us a look into a post-colonial African nation, a thinly veiled DR Congo, grappling with identity, chaos, and the breakdown of society. Salim, our narrator, is stuck in the middle, watching everything unravel while constantly judging, critiquing, and feeling superior to the locals, without ever really understanding them. It's a pretty grim take on life after independence, where hope feels as scarce as, well, good decisions from Salim. What didn't I like about this book? Naipaul's tendency to lump everyone under the broad term Africans. The people in this story, from the locals to the leaders, are reduced to a generic African identity. Africa is a continent, not a single country, and one town can't speak for an entire continent. But hey, that's a rant for another day. Let's also talk about the pacing here. This book feels more like a slow, never-ending monologue, kind of like those conversations you get trapped in when someone really wants to vent. Salim doesn't really tell a story as much as he rants about life in this collapsing town, which makes the plot feel a bit flat. It's less of a novel with dramatic peaks and more of a long journal entry. It's a diary of disillusionment, folks. So, should you read A Bend in the River? Well, if you're into post-colonial literature and want to dive into the mind of a complicated, flawed narrator like Salim, then give it a go. It's not a light read, but it's a thought-provoking one. Plus, Naipaul won a Nobel Prize for a reason, so you know there's some literary brilliance packed in here, even if it's not wrapped in the happiest of packages. Thanks for sticking around, and remember, next time you see a bend in a river, maybe just keep paddling. Don't set up shop there, trust me.